Breaking news coming in. Raids are taking place at the Secretary General of the Communist Party of India, Sitaram Yechury's residence as we speak. I'm not yet 100% certain as to if this is taking place in Delhi itself or in Mumbai, which is where other searches are taking place, or in another city. We'll have a reporter join us to bring us more details. But remember, this is part of a set of raids that have been taking place since early this morning on Newsclick employees and those associated to them. 35 different raids taking place at 35 different locations across the country as we speak. This might be one more of them. Now, I believe that this is actually a raid that's taking place on an employee of Newsclick who was staying at Yechury's premises. But again, we'll wait for a reporter to bring us more clarity on these details before we can confirm anything. Tuesday morning has begun with the Delhi police conducting raids in at least 35 locations, including the houses of several journalists, places associated, as we've told you already, with the news portal Newsclick. Now, let's go over to my colleague Arunima for more clarity on this. Arunima, we just a few moments ago reported on raids taking place at the journalist and activist Teesta Setalvad's residence, but that was in Mumbai. Is this taking place in Delhi?
Yes, this is at the Delhi residence is what we're learning, and this is what the police officials are clarifying is this is not a raid or a search on the politician per se, on Mr. Sitaram Yechury, but his premises hosted one of the employees of Newsclick, it seems. I think a graphics designer was hosted at Mr. Yechury's premises, and his belongings and his premises is being searched to look for evidence. So essentially everybody who has been connected with Newsclick, they are searching their digital devices to look for evidence. The charge is that, about 40 crore rupees that was brought in, quote unquote, fraudulently through foreign funds. This was misused, and this was not utilized for journalistic purposes. This was used to divert to, people like Teesta Setalvad's associates. That's also an allegation that is being made. Mr. Gautam Navlakha's name is also thrown in the mix. So we are waiting for Delhi police to tell us, once the searches are over, exactly what is it that they have recovered. Right now, they are searching everybody connected with Newsclick to look for this evidence of how the fund was received and how it was utilized.
Can you just, Arunima, bring us the context? We know the New York Times in August had published an investigation that alleged that Newsclick is among organizations that are funded by a network tied to the US millionaire Neville Roy Singham. Is that where this emerges from? Because we know that multiple raids have taken place against Newsclick since earlier too. Can you bring us context on that and also tell us how Newsclick has responded?
So this article just added more fuel to the fire that was raging against Newsclick for some time now. In 2021 also a probe was started against Newsclick. Then they had received protection from the Delhi High Court. But the Enforcement Directorate and the Income Tax were scrutinizing everything that they had recovered during their initial searches, during the initial probe. When the New York Times article appeared, the matter was taken up in Lok Sabha also. If you recall, in Parliament also, Bharatiya Janata Party MPs, alleged that this was a portal which was involved with China. The names of Congress leaders was also dragged into the mix. So the entire issue became political. Post that, we are hearing that Delhi police has registered a new case for which the searches are being carried out today. This new case is based on the information that Enforcement Directorate had gathered. Now, ED's mandate is to probe money laundering. So if there is fraudulent use of money and it has been misused and anti-national as the charge is, because sections of UAPA has also been invoked in this FIR. So if those are the sections and those are the crimes committed, then the relevant agency would be NIA. But I think Delhi police has registered the FIR and is doing the initial probe. We'll have to wait and see if NIA ultimately comes into the picture.
Okay, two follow-up questions for you. Could you tell our audiences, A, how courts have responded to this? Because you said that these are all allegations that have been circulating for years now. Could you also tell us how the Newsclick founder, Prabir Purkayastha, has responded to this?
So they've rejected the charge completely, and that's why they went to Delhi High Court, and they got, in fact, interim relief from the Delhi High Court in the 2021 case. Newsclick has maintained that they are being harassed because their contributors are writing against the government's policies, sometimes critical of government functionaries as well. And that is what the charge is, and that's why they are being targeted. And you will find that kind of charge being made by opposition leaders as well. Since this morning, be it Mehbooba Mufti, be it Kapil Sibal, they've all been making the same accusation against the government and the government agencies. That this is not a probe look for foreign funding. This is not a probe to look for misuse of foreign funding, but this is a way to silence journalists who are not, quote unquote, towing the line. So that is what opposition politicians are saying, and the similar line has been taken by Newsclick contributors as well. But the government's rebuttal is, this is a matter of India's sovereignty. So under the garb of freedom of speech and expression, you can't really do anything which is anti-national. So like I said, it is back and forth between government sources and opposition leaders. We are waiting for Delhi police to tell us exactly what is it that they have found after these searches, and if they carry out any arrest, if they carry out any custodial interrogation, then they will have to prove their case in a court of law.
Arunima, can you also tell our audiences, we know that since early this morning, 35 locations at least have seen raids take place. Could you provide us with an updated figure? Could you also tell us about the locations that we know of so far?
Yes, so the residents of the CEO, Mr. Praveer Purkastha, senior journalist, some of them who have been contributors, who have been carried out weekly programming on the Newsclick platform, they have all been searched, they have all been raided, and the number is only growing. I think as the searches are proceeding and new names are coming up during the questioning of the Newsclick contributors and employees, new locations are being added. The graphic designer who's being raided, who used to live at Mr. Yechury's premises, as is being alleged. That's the latest. Also, Sita Satalwar's, premises in Mumbai. We were also told that the charge is that Gautam Naflakha also received money from Newsclick. So I think as the day is progressing, more names are getting added. There are some journalists who have been associated, perhaps in professional capacities, with the journalists of Newsclick who are being raided. So those associates have also been asked to furnish some papers, some documents about their collaboration with the Newsclick contributors. So the web is just growing right now, and more locations are being added.
Arunima, let me just share, we're seeing responses come in from some of these journalists on Twitter too. Some tweeting out that this is the last tweet they're making from the phones. Delhi police is going to seize their phones. Some are saying their laptops and phones are about to be seized, so these are their last tweets. The Press Club of India has also, I believe, put out a statement in solidarity. Could you tell us more?
Yes, Press Club of India is the body which represents journalists, and they have said that we are waiting for more details. But prima facie, they have come out in support of the Newsclick journalists and questioned these searches. There are, like I said, the questions being raised by opposition leaders as well. RJD has linked it to the caste survey that their government in Bihar has conducted, and question essentially alluding that this is a headline management tactics, that you did not want the headlines to be dominated, the conversations to be dominated by the caste survey. Therefore, you have tried to divert attention. I think that's what RJD is alluding to. Mehbooba Mufti, Kapil Sibal, some of the opposition leaders who have questioned, why this is happening, and if this is just because you don't want to hear voices critical of the government. That's the charge that the opposition leaders have made as well. These journalists, I think, have just put out a single line tweet before their phones were taken away. Most of the tweets are similar, saying this is my last tweet because my phone is being taken away, I'm being searched, or somebody else saying that, early this morning police has landed at my premises and my digital devices, phones, laptops are all being taken away. So single line tweets before I think they handed over the phone to the police officials who are wanting to scrutinize their digital devices. Essentially, we are told they're looking for evidence to back up their case, back up the charge that money came in from abroad. The China connection is something that was mentioned in Parliament as well. That China was sending money to Newsclick. So if the money came from China, where did the money come from? Why were crores of rupees given to this organization? What did they really do with that money? Was it utilized for journalistic purposes? Was that the purpose for which the money was given in the first place? If not used for journalistic purposes, what happened to that foreign funding? These are all questions, answers of which are being sought by Delhi police officials right now as they go around searching various premises, offices, residences, associates who are connected in some way to the Newsclick management and worked with me.
Arunima, I'll ask you to stay with us. More breaking news coming in right now.